Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Quiz Me with Quibski, Solutions Architect Edition. So today I have my guest, Bryan. Bryan, can you introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Brian. I'm a system engineer. I've worked with the IT industry for over 7 years. I'm a Cisco Certified Network Associate and AWS Certified Solution Architect. I just passed AWS Solutions Architect a few days
Wow,
ago.
congrats, not just a few days ago. So that means you took the exam purely online, correct?
Yep.
And how was that experience for you?
Um, y- The experience on the actual exam is uh, pretty smooth. I don't have any issue, but I just had a hard time booking
Mm-hmm.
the exam because we have, or I think I've applied for the ESL plus
Okay.
30 minutes, so I didn't. I just figured out that if you had that accommodation, you need to contact
Mm,
Pearson View to schedule the exam. And like contacting Pearson View right now is just
diff- mm.
pretty bad. I think I spent 5 hours on the phone with
Wow.
them, just waiting on the queue. Yeah,
Wow.
so almost, yeah, 5 hours, and then I spoke with someone. They said that they will get back to me for
Mhm.
48 hours for confirmation, but I haven't got a an email from Pearson View, so I contacted
Mm-hmm.
AWS and I've opted out from the ESL 30
Mm,
minutes. Then yeah, I was able to book the
all
exam
right.
online
And you
after
were
that.
able to, I guess, finish no on time. Was it because you didn't have that extra 30 minutes? What would you say that you were rushing, or you would have wanted that extra 30 minutes?
No, I think I finished it with an hour
Mm-hmm.
left on the on the exam time. So yeah, it isn't. I think for us Filipinos, because we are English spoken country or English speaking country, we don't need that 30 minutes or extra 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, some people prefer it to get it. Some people just use it as a buffer. But I guess it really depends on the person. No? For us, at the moment, with enough preparation, that 30 minutes can be, um, you know, it doesn't have to be required, right? So it's a additional bonus. Okay.
Right. Pero I think just suggestion for those who wants to or who will take the exam. Um, just expect that if you have the 30 minutes or ESL 30 minutes accommodation, just expect to have a hard time booking the exam.
All right. Okay. So today, you've seen some of our videos, I hope, and we'll basically just answer 5 questions. And I'll read the questions out to you, and then you just give us your answer or how you're thinking, no? Okay, are you ready? All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's
Ready.
start. So our first question, um, powered by Tutorials Dojo. You are working for an investment bank as their IT consultant. You are working with their IT team to handle the launch of their digital wallet system. The applications will run on multiple EBS backed EC2 instances, which will store the logs, transactions, and billing statements of users in an S3 bucket. Due to tight security and compliance requirements, you are exploring options on how to safely store sensitive data on the EBS volumes and S3. Which of the two Which of the options should be carried out when storing sensitive data on AWS? Select two. Right. So kindly read the options and let us know what you're thinking.
Okay. First option or A, choose AWS, Shield, and WAF. Um, Second option is enabled Amazon S3 server side or use client side encryption. Next one is migrate the EC2 instance for or from the public to the private subnet. And next one is enabled ABS encryption. The last one is create an EBS snapshot. Okay, answer or my answer is enabled Amazon S3 server side and use client side encryption. And for EBS, EBS or enable
All
EBS
right.
encryption. Yeah.
Are you sure? You want to explain your answers or?
The question was which of the below options should be carried out when storing sensitive data on AWS? So they are asking for the encryption type of S3 and EBS. On S3 we can use server side encryption, client side encryption. I think we have KMS and
Mhm.
yeah, can enable those on the S3 bucket. And for EBS, um, we can always enable EBS encryption to encrypt the data
All right.
inside it.
So let's check. Okay, let's check if it's correct. That is correct. No? Very good. 1 out of 5. Yeah, and we have an explanation
Five.
here for the explanation for those who want to read. No? Our next question. A music company is storing data on Amazon S3. The company's security policy requires that data are encrypted at rest. Which of the following method can achieve this? So another encryption question, no? Select two.
Okay. Encrypt the data on client side before ingesting to Amazon S3 using master key. Use Amazon S3 bucket policy to restrict access to the data at rest. Use Amazon S3 server-side encryption with EC2 key pair. Use SSL to encrypt data while in transit to Amazon S3. Use Amazon S3 server-side encryption with customer-provided keys. Um, the question is the company is asking.
Yeah, so basically another encryption question
Okay.
again.
Yeah. First is encrypt the data. It's kind of tricky. I'm sure that the use Amazon S3 server-side encryption with customer-provided key is one of the answer.
Okay, so why are you sure about this?
And because I know that that's one of the option that is available to encrypt
Mhm.
data at rest in
All right.
S3. And the second one is encrypt the data on the client side before ingesting to Amazon S3 using their own
All
master
right.
key.
Do you wanna um, you wanna check or you wanna ano pa?
Um, Let me just read the. I'll just read the question again. A music company storing data. And
So the
Amazon
question here is data at rest, no?
company security.
Encryption at rest. All right.
Yeah,
So maybe some people will ask, why not use SSL? We'll just check now.
yeah. I
We'll click
guess
check first.
I
That
guess
is correct. Maybe people will ask, why not use SSL encryption?
yeah.
Mhm.
That's kind of tricky because it's an encryption as well, but SSL is a encryption in transit. So the question was
So the
data
keyword
at
here
rest.
is data encrypted at rest, no? So that's correct there. I violated it. All right. Next question. Yeah. You are working for a large financial firm and you are instructed to set up a Linux Bastion host. It allow it will allow access to Amazon EC2 instances running in their VPC. For security purposes, only the clients connecting from the corporate external public IP address should have SSH access to the host. Which is the best option that can meet the customer requirement? Sir, before you read the options, no, maybe some people don't know what a Linux Bastion host is. Maybe you can explain a little bit.
How can I term this one? I think Linux Bastion host is like a jump host. So we create Bastion host, or well, yeah, we create Bastion host publicly so that we can SSH to it, and then from the Bastion host we can access um, the other servers or the other applications running in a private subnet. So only the Bastion host or those applications or those servers that are running on the private subnet are not accessible in via the internet. So you need to connect to the Bastion host first, and then from the Bastion host connect to
Yeah, so it's
those
basically like a
servers.
like what they call this, a checkpoint, no? So instead of going direct, you have to pass through a
Right.
checkpoint first, the Bastion host, the jump. So basically, based on the question, which is the best option that can meet the customer's requirement? Here we have different security groups and knuckles settings. Right. So
Yep. Okay, so my answer is security group inbound group protocol TCP port range 22. Source address is 175.45.100-32.
okay, so you were saying your security group protocol must be TCP or UDP. So TCP,
TCP.
okay, for everyone there. So TCP protocol for security group. So we're not gonna use knuckles, and then the source must be /32 instead of /0. Correct? Okay, so basically we're
Correct.
picking the third option, right?
Mhm.
So maybe you can also add, no, why are we using security group here and not knuckles?
We are using security group because I think it's the question is Linux Bastion host. So if we use Knuckles, all of the instances on that subnet will be affected. So not only the Bastion host that we're setting up. So for example, we have other public servers or public instances. If you applied Knuckle into that subnet, um, every instances or will be affected by it. So in this case, the question is just pertaining to
Okay,
Linux
so a
Bastion
specific,
host.
all right, cool. So let's check. Okay, oh, that is correct. Also, I just want to add, if we're gonna use knuckles, if knuckle is two-way, So if any kind of rule that you have to put inbound, you'll also probably have to set outbound as well now. Here, it's not mentioned
Right.
if that particular range is blocked or not blocked. So we don't assume, and so security group is the best answer for the moment. And you can apply the security group to a specific bastion host only, and not to everyone, as mentioned by Brian. All right. Okay. Next. So fourth question. A new online banking platform has been redesigned to have microservices architecture in which complex applications are decomposed into smaller independent services. The new platform is using Docker, considering that application containers are optimal for running small, decoupled services. The new solution should remove the need to provision and manage servers, let you specify and pay for resources per application, and improve security through application isolation by design. Which of the following is the most suitable service to use to migrate this new platform to AWS?
Okay. Um, Amazon EKS, Amazon Fargate, and Amazon EBS. I know that EFS and EBS are not the correct answers because they are, I could call this, they are storage. EBS is block storage, EFS is like
Correct.
network file storage. So we're down to Amazon EKS and Amazon Fargate. Uh, EKS or Fargate. I'm not really familiar, or I it's the back of my mind. I think I'll go with AWS
Okay, and why are
Fargate.
you choosing Fargate? Like, do you have any guess?
I mean, it's just a guess. Amazon EKS is I think it's Elastic. What is
Kubernetes.
the K? Kubernetes.
All right. So, as a guess.
Yeah, I'll go with.
All
Yep,
right.
I'll
Okay.
go with Fargate.
So let's see your guess if it's correct. Okay. Yes, it is correct. No. I'll explain for our viewers.
Okay.
Okay. This particular line says that you need to remove the provisioning and managing of servers. So if you're using
Yeah. Oh, okay.
EKS or ECS, you will still manage the servers, no? But if you're using Fargate, so you can use EKS with Fargate. So the serverless part there is Fargate. And so that's why Fargate is our answer. Okay, but so far,
Yep. And also, yeah, for those who are trying to or are planning to go to the exam, that's one of my like technique, I think, as well. To if you have four options, just remove uh, the incorrect answers, and then yeah, you'll have
left.
two options
Yeah,
to
so
choose
basically
to.
you have a
So
higher chance, no?
you
50-50.
have
Yeah,
a 50
correct.
50 chance to picking the correct
Right, so
answer.
our last question is, you are a solutions architect for a global news company. You are configuring a fleet of EC2 instances in a subnet which currently is in a VPC with an internet gateway attached. All of these EC2 instances can be accessed from the internet. You then launch another subnet and launch an EC2 instance in it. However, you're not able to access the EC2 instance from the internet. What could be the possible reasons for this issue? Select two.
Okay. Right. So I'll just read out the
Mhm.
options. Um, First is the route table is not configured properly to send traffic from the EC2 instance to the internet through customer gateway. Second is the route table is not configured properly to send traffic from the EC2 instance to the internet through the internet gateway. Third option is the Amazon EC2 instance does not have an attached elastic fabric adapter. And the fourth option is the Amazon EC2 instance is not a member of the same
Mhm.
auto-scaling group. And the last one is the Amazon EC2 instance does not have a public IP address
Right.
associated with it. Um, so they said that configuring a fleet of EC2 instance in the subnet, which is currently in a PC. Okay, so you then launch another subnet and launch an EC2
So it's
instance
a
on it. However, you are not able to access EC2 instance.
yes.
It's a new subnet. Oh, my answer would be the route table is not configured properly to send traffic from the EC2 instance to the internet through
Internet
the
gateway.
internet gateway, and the Amazon EC2 instance does not have a public IP address associated with it.
All right. Why not the first option? Why not the customer gateway?
Customer gateway.
Sure.
Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but um, if I remember it correctly, we use customer gateway when we are using or when we have a call this a hybrid
Architecture. Mhm.
setup, yeah, architecture. So if we want to connect our on-premise data center to AWS, one of the or we should have a customer gateway setup on the on-premise
Yeah. So this
data
is
center.
basically a site to
You
site,
can
no? Which is different from what we want.
right.
All right. So let's check. Correct. So basically, that's 5 out of 5, no? So you really
Right.
are very fresh in terms of knowledge, and you have studied well. Correct. No?
Yeah.
So, Bry, you know, I understand that you actually left your company. Your company before was affected by our situation, uh, because your company before supported hotel industry. But you were able to find a new work, um, despite, the hiring freeze of other companies. What would you say that your certification, your last certification, helped um, gain favor in terms of, you know getting that new job?
Yeah, absolutely. I was studying for AWS when I applied for my current job, and I put in my resume that I have a AWS called as knowledge, and also was able to set up some EC2 servers and storage and migrate some website to AWS previously. And that really helps because I'm working with a managed service provider, an
Hmm.
MSP company, and one of one of the big projects out there in the US are um, doing, we call this, or implementing hybrid architecture. So yeah, having knowledge with the cloud technology is one of or the biggest, I think one of the biggest part why they hired me, because right now, yeah, they are or we keep on studying AWS architectures, and other cloud architectures for possible incoming projects. So I think after this pandemic, there would be a lot of projects for
Mm.
um, IT IT people like us, especially those who are working in the AWS environment. I think the the companies that are working or that has legacy architectures will start to think about. I think they are thinking about migrating to the cloud right now. So I think we will have more, or we can see more companies that will migrate to the cloud
Right.
in the near future.
How did they test your knowledge? Did they give you a hands-on exam, or like did you do a demo on your laptop, or they gave you a written exam?
No, no, just an interview. So yeah, they just interview me, and I've already had a.
Mm.
I was a network engineer, so I already had a knowledge with Cisco. So they want people that has a networking background and
Mm.
a knowledge in cloud. So I um, I was or I am uh, I'm in what do you call this. I have both of the experience and the
Right.
knowledge. So, yeah, I think it's also lucky for me that I got this kind of job despite
Mm.
of the pandemic, despite of the layoffs that is happening. I think I'm really lucky. They also they also paid for my or I got a reimbursement
All
for
right.
the exam fee.
That's great, no? Uh,
Yeah, and I'm thinking of doing the next two associate exam
all right.
this month.
Yes.
Probably
So good luck
the
on that,
first.
no? For your next exams. So that's the end of our recording or end of our show. So everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments. Check out Brian's LinkedIn later on, and also all our other fellow Filipinos. Take care and stay safe. No? Okay, so everyone, bye bye, and take care. Okay, bye, Bri.
All right, thank you.